Very good morning to you all, dear students. So today we will start with the new topic under block 17. Forests are disappearing. So the topic of our discussion for today is forests are disappearing. So this is the topic, okay, that we will learn today. So the aim for our class is students will be able to identify reasons for deforestation and its impact on people and the environment. Resources needed are your worksheet S3, your exit content book, and your notebook. Alright, the key words for today is deforestation and firewood. Okay, I hope you all know, okay, but let me explain to you. Alright, so in brief, alright, in simple meaning of the term, deforestation means the process of destroying or cutting down a forest and replacing it with something else, especially with an agricultural system. Common thing is zoom cultivation. Alright, and firewood, wood intended to be burned, typically for heat or for cooking purpose. Alright, so that is the meaning of deforestation and firewood. Okay, suppose if all forests were cut down, how do you think it will affect us? Imagine, okay, if all the forests are cut down or are clear, then how do you think it will affect us? Alright, so okay, you listen carefully, okay? See, when forests they are cut down, it is called deforestation. Alright, when forests they are cut down, it is called deforestation. It affects different people differently. So if all the trees are cut down, it will affect different people in a different way. Today we will see how it affects some groups of people. Okay. Now I want all of you to read story, okay? Story 2 from your exit content book. Alright. So let's read a story, okay, from exit content book, page number 1. Alright, so under our green cover, block 17, okay. So yesterday we have read story 1, so today we will start with story 2. So as I read for you, please listen carefully, and you can even okay, compare in your textbook, okay, from your textbook. In the village of Dundri Paitoli in the Himalayas, the people face a choice. The government wanted to cut down trees to make a farm near the village. The men of the village felt that this was a good idea because they could earn more money. The women in the village disagreed. Their daily work included collecting firewood and food for animals. If the forest was cut down, they would have to walk far to collect these things. They felt that their lives would be better if fuel, water, food for animals, and other necessary things were available nearby. The women were strong and started a peaceful fight to save the forest. They protested against the government and the men in their own village. Other Chipko protesters supported them. Finally, the men agreed to not cut down the forest. So this story is adapted from Chipko and Apiko. That is how the people saved the trees by Pandurang H. That is in the year 1988. Okay. So if you cannot follow the reading, you can even read for yourself, okay, from your textbook. So let's get into activity discussion now. So in the story about Dungri Paitoli, why did the woman feel the forest were useful, and how does cutting down the forest affect the woman, and how did the woman protest, and how does cutting down the forest affect the men? I hope you get the question. In the story that we have read, why did the woman feel that the forests were useful, and how does cutting down the forest affect the women, and how did they protest, and how does cutting down the forest affect the men? Alright, so I'm gonna summarize your answer, okay? So please listen carefully. So the women they felt their life will be harder if the forest is cut down. The reason why is because they get important things like firewood and food for animals from the forest. Alright, so if the forest is cut down, see now they have to go to a far away places to get this thing, means to get firewood and food, okay, for the animals. The men they felt that their life will be better, right? That is by cutting down the forest and making a farm because they may earn more money from the farm. So that is what the men they think. Alright. So women, they collected wood, food for animal. If forest is cut down, they have to go far away. That is the problem they will face if the forests are cut down. On the other hand, the men, they also need wood and food for animals, but they don't collect it. Yes or no? Because it is done by the women. Okay. So if the forest is cut to make a farm, they can earn more money. So that is what the men they feel. Alright, now to generalize our discussion again, what are some differences in how the two groups are affected when forests are cut down, and how are we in cities affected when forests are cut down? What was the outcome of the protest? So the protest was carried out by the women, right? So what was the outcome of the protest? And what are some of the differences in how the two groups, that is the men and women, are affected when forests are cut down? And how are we in cities affected when forests are cut down? Alright, as you take time to think, you can even write your own answer, okay? And then you can compare your answer as I explain it to you. So the woman felt that their life can only be better if things like firewood were available closer and not far away from their residence. Alright, so the men, on the other hand, they felt that having more money would make their lives more comfortable and better. So, because after clearing the forest, they can set up a farm, and that is how they can earn money. So that is what the men felt. In the city, we depend on forests to clean the air and store water in the ground, because if there is no forest means we will not get sufficient water. Alright, and also forests help in cleaning the air, okay? And if forests are cut down, we will not have clean air or enough water. Without forests, we will not be able to get things like wood and many other medicines. So cutting down forests affect different people in different ways. So we must think about whom it can affect and how it may affect them, and prevent cutting down forests as much as possible. Alright, so instead of cutting down, we should learn to plant more trees, okay, in our surrounding. Now the last question, okay, that is the hot discussion. How could cutting the forest affect domestic animals and animals that live in the forest? So what will happen to those animals, right? If the forests are cut down? What will happen to the domestic animals, means the animals that we rear at home, we keep at home, and the animals that live in the forest, wild animals? How it will affect their life? Alright, very simple. Okay, so you might have different answer to that. Let me summarize your answer very quickly. Now see, uh, cutting the forest means that domestic animal may be getting less food. Yes or no? Because the woman will have to go far away to get food for the pigs, for the goat, for the cows. Alright. So also the animals that live in the forest will lose their home and food to eat if the forest is cut. So this is how it will affect the domestic animal and the wild animal. Okay, means the animal that live in the forest. That's it. Now things to do. Okay, you have to complete your worksheet S3. Alright, you have to complete your worksheet S3 along with practice question number 7. Practice question number 7. Okay, student, most of you are failing to do your practice question, so your practice question is as important as compared to your worksheet. Okay, so please, as you submit along with your practice question. Practice question number 7 is, what are some ways in which forests are damaged? Alright, so that is your homework for today. Okay, take care and have a good